Well, here we go again. Good or evil science. Anti-science bills weighed in 4 states. Oklahoma has 2 bills in the hopper. Colorado, Missouri, and Montana have 1 each. This is from an article, Anti-Science Bills Weighed in 4 States, from Discovery, written by Larry O'Hanlon. Josh Rosenau, who works on policy issues for the National Center for Science Education, says it's almost identical language in all the bills. It's a package of bills that we've been tracking since the 2004 Academic Freedom Bill. That bill, which was passed into law, was based on language generated by the Discovery Institute, which has long pushed for the inclusion of biblical creationism and pseudo-scientific intelligent design into science classes in public schools. Eric Faber, president of the Montana Education Association and the Montana Federation of Teachers. It affects the supervisors of the schools, said Faber, because they would not be able to stop the teaching of religion disguised as science. Teachers who teach creationism would be immune to punishment. That basically undermines school supervisors. We believe the bill is on its face unconstitutional, said Faber, who will be present with science education advocates for the bill's first hearing on January 25th. We're going to rise in opposition. A federal court ruled in 2005 that the teaching of intelligent design was in violation of the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Since that time, efforts to undermine public school science have been forced to attempt the academic freedom subterfuge, explained Eugene F. C. Scott, executive director of the NCSE. Most of these bills will likely die in legislative sessions because they are rarely considered of great importance or worth the very vocal opposition they engender. Now, an article in Alternet, written by Adam Lee, says, fundamentalists have always been hostile to evolution. The modern creationist movement got its start in the 1950s, primarily due to the influence of an evangelical author named Henry Morris. Morris' 1964 book, The Genesis Flood, argued, among other things, that Noah's flood happened just as the Bible describes it. In other words, it was reasonable to believe that 8 people could care for a floating zoo containing at least 2 members of every species on Earth. The creationist movement original strategy evolved around getting friendly state legislatures to decree that their ideas had to be taught in public schools, regardless of scientific merit or lack thereof. The strategy hasn't fared well in court, aside from a Pyrrhic victory in the Scopes trial. Judges have readily recognized that the obvious violation of separation of states, and each time they lost, the creationist movement responded the same way, coming up with a new name. Creation science became scientific creationism, which became abrupt appearance theory, and so on. The currently preferred nomenclature is intelligent design, which is totally constitutional and not at all religious, because we're not saying what we think intelligent designer is. However, it's all very interesting, and we'll have to wait and see how this all comes out. You got that right.